This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E. Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Postcasts we do. But today, the Giants salvaged a win over the Dodgers to avoid the sweep at Chavez Ravine, and I am surprised. Patrick Bailey delivered a clutch RBI ground rule double to secure the tying run and set up the go-ahead run in the 8th inning to secure the victory. And with the win, the Giants avoid setting a new record for the fewest number of wins over the Los Angeles Dodgers in a single season in franchise history. Instead, they finished the season tied for the fewest number of wins over the Los Angeles Dodgers in a single season in franchise history. And the quest to return to 500 continues. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for tuning in on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate it. Make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. My guy, Alan Stiles, does a great job. And this one, I mean, if you couldn't tell by my tone in the intro, man, like I'm genuinely shocked that the Giants won this game. I thought this team was just going to roll over and die in LA. I'm glad to see them have like a little bit of fight, a little bit of pride left. This team isn't going to the playoffs. You're 3 games back. You have 6 to play. It's still mathematically possible, I guess, but there's really no real chance that they're going to be able to do this. The Mets did lose today, so you get a game, but you're still behind the Diamondbacks, the Reds. The Mets own the tiebreaker over the Giants. So just as this thing continues to wind down, I mean, there really is no possibility for the Giants to make the postseason. You can cling to that, very slim mathematical chance if you want to, but it's just not going to happen. So the Giants ultimately are just kind of playing for vibes at this point. And today the vibes were kind of vibing, man, down there in LA. The Giants not really scoring again. That's the general theme for how Giants games have gone lately is the Giants don't like to score a lot of runs. But this one, even though they didn't score early, they were able to score later in the game, which really helped them, obviously, win this game. And so let's get right to today's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And getting Emmett Sheehan was really the turning point for this one in the Giants. Start of the 8th inning, you finally get the starter out of there, and he was absolutely killing the Giants. He only gave up 1 hit. That's it. No walks, no other base runners, struck out 10. Dude was absolutely dominant over the Giants today. And even in that 7th inning, you got a 1-2-3 inning to end that one. So, I mean, he was absolutely cruising. The Dodgers bring in Blake Trinan, and he just falls apart, man. A single to Christian Koss, a single to Drew Gilbert, and then a ground rule double to Pat Bailey. Scores a run. Moore would have scored if that one stayed in the park instead of hopping over that fence in right field. Then Trinan gets into more issues. After he intentionally walks Rafi Devers, he walks in a run by walking Willie Adames. It just got really messy there for Trinan. And eventually Alex Vesia had to come in to clean up the inning. But the Giants ended up getting 3 runs in that inning. Matt Chapman also added one with a productive ground ball out, which, hey, we'll take that. The Giants have been really bad at getting these productive outs in these situations. How many times have we seen Giants striking out, especially striking out looking, or like popping out to the first baseman in foul territory in these types of situations this year? So ultimately, the Giants did what they needed to do well enough to win this game, and they were able to get that one going with the turning point in that top of the 8th inning with that Patrick Bailey ground rule double that ended up driving in a run and could have scored more. It was Bailey's 17th double of the season. And don't look now, Pat Bailey, man, that batting average, 219. Slowly climbing up, man. He was 1 for 2 today because he came in that pinch, or earlier in the game in a pinch hit situation. But he I don't know. Has he shown you enough at the end of the season to make you not want to bring in competition for the catcher position next year? In my opinion, I think you have to. I like that Pat Bailey was able to kind of turn it on in the month of September, but I'm going to need more than a solid month out of Pat Bailey offensively. I need more than that. I know he's one of the best defensive catchers in baseball, the pop time, the framing, all that. I get it. But as we continue towards automated balls and strikes, Pat Bailey's value is going to decline significantly as soon as that is implemented into Major League Baseball. You can't do what the Giants have done for the last number of years, which is they're waiting until they see the holes on the team. Like they know that there's a potential hole, like a potential problem at a position. Instead, they'll just kind of roll with what they got until that problem becomes like a glaring, obvious problem before they seem to try to address it. And I don't want that situation with Pat Bailey, man. Don't want that position or that issue with catcher and with the catcher position. And I think that they should try to fix this could potentially be a problem situation before it becomes a problem. That's what good teams do. You go out there and you get a contingency plan when you aren't 100% confident in someone. And I'm not 100% confident in Pat Bailey. A nice month of September and a decent end of August does not forgive him batting like what, 112, 115 for the rest of the season. It's just not, it's not a month and a half to 2 months. Let's even be generous. Let's just say 2 months of good offense is not enough to outweigh just how putrid and awful he was for really, I mean, the first, 100 games of the season, Pat Bailey was just absolutely dog water at the plate. And you can't have that in today's baseball. You can't have a guy who's just an automatic out, just a zero in the middle of this order. And if you especially can't have multiple of those guys. And the Giants seem to have a few of those through their order right now. You look at the Dodgers, and I know not everyone can be the Dodgers, but there's no automatic outs in this lineup, man. There's no automatic outs. Maybe the Dodgers weren't, they aren't the best at their with Dalton rushing in there at catcher. They are missing Will Smith, the all-star catcher that they usually got back there. But when they're healthy, when they're full, this team is 1 through 9 terrifying, and that's what I want the Giants to be, man, so bad. And you're not going to be 1 through 9 terrifying with guys like Pat Bailey hitting in your lineup. You're just not. So it's a good day for Pat Bailey. It makes you feel a little bit better about the season that he's had. It's not good enough, man. It's just not good enough. I need them to bring in some competition. Adley Rutschman would be I think the pipe dream for all Giants fans. I don't know how realistic that is. And maybe ultimately you can't find somebody in free agency or that's available via trade in the offseason that can come and push for that job next season and push Pat Bailey in spring training out in Arizona. Maybe there's just not a guy that you can bring in to do that. But I certainly want the Giants to try. I think that you owe this team, this fan base, the due diligence to go and run down every lead at every position that could possibly make this team better. I'm talking about catcher. I'm talking about second base. I'm talking about right field. I'm even kind of talking about left field. I mean, Elliot Ramos has been one of the more consistent hitters for the Giants this season, but the base running blunders, the defensive issues, you got to bring guys in who can play complete baseball. And right now the Giants have a lot of guys who are, good at one thing, maybe good at 1.5 things, and not really great at the entirety of the game. And it would be nice to have well-rounded players at multiple different positions rather than just at 1 or 2. And hopefully this is a turning point for the Giants next season, where they can go out in the offseason this year and try to shore up some of those holes instead of just like last year's offseason where it was just go get somebody, because this whole team really needs a rework. At least now you kind of have a core to go forward with, right? Like you have Adames, Devers, Chapman, and Bryce Eldridge. That's your infield for the foreseeable future. Obviously, you're going to have Jung-Hoo Lee in center. Past that, who knows? You got to do everything you can to do. You got to do everything you can to run down leads at all of these other positions and see if you can make improvements across the board, because this team is just not as good as its counterparts in LA, at their counterparts in San Diego. I don't even know if they're as good as their counterparts in Arizona. I mean, the Giants, record-wise, definitely not as good as any of those teams, but I did expect this team to be a little better than they were this year. We're still hanging on by a thread to the Giants' 80.5 wins, over on the 80.5 wins this season. That was their line at the start of the year that I heavily hammered and told everyone else to go do the same thing. And so it's still alive, but Giants, they can only afford a couple more losses to be able to still hit that number. So we'll see how these final 6 games of the season play out. They're going to need 4 more wins over these final 6 games. We'll see if they can do it. And that kind of coincides with the quest to 500. Are the Giants going to be able to get back to 81 and 81? I really don't know if they'll be able to do it, but I sure hope they can, man, because it's I think a pride point for this team. You don't want to finish the season under 500 via losing skid. I mean, they seemed like they were going to definitively hit that mark about halfway through this month, especially in the early part of this month. And then they really started to backslide recently. I mean, this is a nice win. This is the first win in a couple days, and it's good to have the team get back in the win column. Your last win came in that final game of the Diamondback series, and then you only won one against the Dodgers in their prior series that they met up on last weekend at Oracle Park. You only won Friday. So wins have been spare the last week and a half. It's been really hard or sparse the last week and a half. It's really been hard for the Giants to really get anything going here after losing all that momentum that they had in the beginning of the season. But today, man, Trevor McDonald, giving the Giants a little bit of something on the bump. We got to get into his day, and the bullpen really holding things down for the Giants to secure the win in this one down in Chavez Ravine. We'll get into both of those things next here on the Locked On Giants postcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings in the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping, available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. And if you know me, you know I love my caffeine. I need it to get through every single day of my life. And I've used the caffeine toothpicks before big meetings and long drives. They give me energy without the jitters, and the flavors like peppermint, watermelon ice actually taste great. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com, use code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older to order. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix Toothpicks. And today's show is also sponsored by 5 Hour Energy. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5 Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. What I love most is how portable they are. Big taste, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get that boost when you really need it. And for me, that's so convenient, man, because as I just explained to you guys, I struggle with staying awake throughout a lot of the day. I work like 4 different jobs. I do a lot in my personal life. I'm always burning the candle at both ends. And instead of waiting in line all day at a coffee shop and spending, upwards of $5 on a cup of coffee, it is so much more cost effective and pretty damn tasty to go with the 5 Hour Energy shots. So enough with the boring flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in store and online at www.5hourenergy.com or on Amazon today. Today's show is also sponsored by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting just for you. So you can just link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visualizations, and get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money, all without ever touching a spreadsheet. And that's music to my ears. And I'm sure to everyone else who is as mathematically challenged as I am, because you don't want to be making mistakes when you're trying to do your finances. And Monarch helps me with all of that. It does it for me, so I don't have to worry about making the errors. And it helps me see everything I need to know to make sure I'm staying on top of all my finances. Don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants, they were able to beat the Dodgers in Chavez Ravine, avoid the sweep, and avoid becoming the first team in Giants history to only win 3 games against the Dodgers in a single season. So all that's nice, and it was a good day for Trevor McDonald on the bump for the Giants. And I mean, this guy, he kind of shoved today, low key, and he's not been a guy who I thought was really going to impact this Giants starting rotation or crack into it. I see in the chat. Willem is asking, saying McDonald really surprised me. Do you think he's in the lineup next year as a 5th, 6th starter? And while I don't think he's done enough to warrant that type of consideration, I think there's going to be other guys before him that the Giants kind of consider. I also hope that the Giants go out and get some more arms in the offseason so that they aren't in a situation where a guy like Trevor McDonald is going to end up being a 6th, 7th starter on this staff. But I mean, if he keeps having spot starts like this, he's gonna earn himself some more. So I would imagine that he might get maybe one more spot start or one more start before the end of the year. Maybe he earned it with this one. He went 6 innings, did give up 6 hits, but scattered those base runners. Only gave up 1 walk, struck out 3, and only gave up the 1 run to the Dodgers. I mean, you can't scoff at that, man. Whenever you're going up against this lineup, if you can hold them to 1 run, that is definitely a win in the column for the starting pitcher. In 6 innings, that's not 3-4 innings, so that's also pretty good when the bullpen has been as taxed as it has been. And today the bullpen, we also got to give them a little bit of a shout out to. They went 3 innings scoreless, didn't give up the only 1 base runner, didn't walk anybody, struck out 3. Very, very, very solid outing from this bullpen. Lucchesi had a big strikeout over Ohtani. I liked just the grit of this bullpen, going right at those big names in the middle of the Dodgers lineup. They were not afraid, despite all of these being kind of bullpen rejects at certain points throughout the season. Spencer Bivens has been on mop-up duty since the season started. Joey Lucchesi wasn't with the team when the season started, and Ryan Walker has lost his job and regained it at multiple points this year as the Giants closer. So, I mean, just kind of the rejects going in the bullpen for the Giants, and they held it down, man. So shout out the bullpen, shout out Trevor McDonald for really doing a lot of work on that bump today. He threw 89 pitches, 60 of them were strikes. He generated 9 ground outs. Dude was doing a great job getting that ground ball out, and it was a very, very, very solid day for Trevor McDonald out there. And if you want to go deep into games and preserve your arm, that's how you do that, man. You get a lot of ground ball outs, you pitch to contact, and you generate weak contact off the bat. And that's what McDonald was able to do. And doing that against the Dodgers is no small feat. And because of that, he gets today's player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And as I said, he was doing a great job generating that soft contact today, an average exit velo of just 88.1 miles an hour. And he was really utilizing that curveball a lot, man. He threw 40 curveballs today, by far, or not by far, but the most he threw of any pitch. He also threw 37 sinkers. Other than that, he didn't really throw much else. He's basically a 2-pitch guy. He threw 6 sliders and 6 changeups, but 40 curveballs and 37 sinkers. That's where his bread and butter is. And the exit velo on those 2 pitches, pretty nice. 85.3 average exit velo on the curveball and 90.7 average exit velo on the sinker. You're going to generate a lot of ground balls that are not hit super hard that your infield's going to be able to manage if they're coming off the bat at 85 miles an hour, 87 miles an hour. He also had a lot of swings and misses, man. 39% whiff rate on that curveball and a 24% whiff rate on that sinker, despite him using both of those pitches as his 2 dominant pitches in today's game. So very, very, very good job by McDonald utilizing both of those and mixing up hitters and getting them to ground out a lot over and over and over again in this one. So the Giants get a win today. Trevor McDonald gets your player of the game. And after this one, what you're going to be talking about is that the Giants need to continue to build towards next season.
This is what you'll be talking about.
In the way you continue to build towards next season, a couple things. You let McDonald get another start just to see if he's got it in him. And if he goes another 6 innings and only gives up 1 run and has a nice strikeout to walk ratio like he did today, maybe you give the guy a little bit of extra run in spring training and you see if there's anything there. I mean, obviously you're not going to give up on the guy if he's pitching wins against the Dodgers. So I think he did enough today to earn another start. Maybe he deserves another look to see if he can crack the rotation for next year. But again, I'm not expecting him to be in the mix to break into the Giants staff. I think if he is in the mix to break into the Giants staff, it might be an issue for this team going into next year. But you also got to have some pride. Try to finish the season at 500 because it matters, right? Like it matters to be labeled as a losing baseball team or a winning baseball team. It sits in your head all off season, and you don't want to be sitting there all off season thinking that you're a loser, that you got a group of losers around you. You want to wash that stain off of you as much as you can, because that is something that will linger in your brain and follow you around. And the Giants absolutely need to get this loser stench off of them that they've had these last couple seasons. And so I think it does matter to try and get back to 500 and play with a little bit of pride down these last 2 games or last 2 series of the season. You're playing the Cardinals and the Rockies, 2 series that you can absolutely win if you are the San Francisco Giants. And one thing I'd like to see in those series also, Bryce Eldridge. I would like to see this guy get going. It's not like he has been hitting the ball poorly. I mean, almost every single ball that he's hit has been over 100 miles an hour off the bat so far. he's just not finding spots. A lot of deep flyouts, a lot of long fly balls that are getting caught at the track or near the wall. I want to see him level that swing out. I want to see some line drives, or maybe I would just like to see Eldridge hit one out maybe before the end of the year, just for my brain, just for my head. I think that would be a nice thing to see. I think for all of the San Francisco Giants fans, that would just be like a nice thing to see, watch Bryce run into one and watch that ball fly. Hopefully we can see it before the end of the season, but I want Eldridge to just kind of get that confidence before the end of the year. I want the Giants to get back to 500 so they can have some confidence to go into next season. And I just want to see the kids play. Luis Matos should be starting damn near every game from this point forward. Grant McCray starting every game from this point forward. I want to see all of the Giants youth in there and just see what you got. See what you got for next year, and hopefully you can glean something going into spring training to start next season, because we all know that this team is not making the playoffs. It's all the time that we got for you guys today here on the Locked On Giants postcast. We are going to be doing a Locked On 49ers squad show with Dwayne Board and Brian Peacock. I think Brian Peacock, maybe Eric Crocker is joining us today. One of the guys from the Locked On 49ers podcast is going to be joining us, and me and Dwayne Board. So make sure you're hopping on there in just a few minutes as soon as this Niners-Cardinals game wraps. It's all the time we got for you guys today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.